Good evening, everyone. Welcome to UpStart Live. I'm Mansa. I'm your host for the evening. PayU, as you all know, is one of the leading payment service providers. We are across sectors like airlines, SMBs, and of course, the startup community. So, this August, we plan on bringing in as many Indian entrepreneurs as possible to talk about various topics, right? We want to be able to celebrate the entrepreneurship, the spirit that Indian entrepreneurs have under our homegrown series. So, we are calling it PayU Homegrown Series. And our first speaker in our homegrown series is Nirmal Dayaramani. He's the founder of Outdo Cart. Outdo Cart is a partner with PayU. Obviously, Nirmal will tell you a little more about this before we go into that. So yes, thank you so much for coming here today. To everybody, we are going to be talking about ONDC and its impact on businesses. So, Nirmal, thank you so much for coming here with us today. I would like you to start with a little bit of your journey as an entrepreneur, your background, and then we can probably go into the topic at discussion. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mansa. Thank you for calling me again on Upstart series, and happy to be on Homegrown series as well because that's what we truly believe in. We are a made in India, made for India product, not made in India, shipped to US. Right. So we truly believe in that. India is the place to build. India is the place to also sell, not just build. There is so much diversity in India. There are so many problems to solve in India. There is so much happening in India that there is always a platform required to organize, build, sell, utilize, build the capability of Indians to do better, businesses to do better, and so on. So we truly look forward to uh, you know keep building for India primarily, even if we go global tomorrow. So that has been at the heart of Outdo. So I represent Outdo Cart. The reason why we chose this topic is because we are doing this for 6 years. We are building e-commerce for 6 years. We are in e-commerce industry for 6 years. What ONDC is going to do is going to change everything we know. Think of pre-UPI and post-UPI era. No one thought that people will think that you don't have to take cash when you go out of home. You don't need a wallet sometimes when you go out of home, right? No one thought that we will see that in India happening, right? We will think that this will be maybe US, maybe UK, maybe Australia somewhere, but in India we actually see truly digitization taking place, and purely because of the foresight that some of the leaders have, and implementation that they bring, and so on. So UPI was a great success. It's continuing to be a great success. It's continuing to change the landscape every day, bring up numbers every day, and ONDC is no different. And I cannot be more excited and serious about what ONDC is going to do. And I hope others understand that and don't miss the train. So this is why we thought that it is best that being the leader in the industry, doing this before D2C was a word in India, building e-commerce websites since then, we wanted to make sure that the businesses who are not just D2C brands, who are not just online but also offline, understand the importance of this, and kind of get on the train as soon as possible, and build business bigger and bigger. So yeah, that was a short of why we are doing this, and I just hope that people learn something out of this, and they take it very seriously, considering that this is actually going to change their business. uh,
Shall I
Let me
just
know
bring
when
up
I
your
can.
presentation, Nirmal?
Yeah, please. Yeah,
Yes,
please.
thank you so much.
Great.
Well, like,
Sure. So yeah, we are going to talk about ONDC, and what it's going to change for Indian businesses, how it's going to impact. To start with, let's understand what is ONDC. So ONDC, short form abbreviation, is basically Open Network for Digital Commerce. There's a reason why it is called Open Network, because right now what we are looking at is closed network. You are you go to Myntra, you download Myntra, you become their user, you see all the sellers on Myntra, you buy from that, etc. But what if you want to buy from Amazon? You cannot do that. You have to go to Amazon, download the app, make your account, OTP, find what you want to buy, and now you're confused. You're like, okay, Flipkart also has this. So again, you go to Flipkart, again you make your account there, etc. And now you think, what if it was cheaper there? And so on, right? So what ONDC is basically, it's trying to build an open network of digital commerce, right? So everything that is going to change. Everything, every buyer is going to change the pattern that they are going to buy. Every seller is going to change the way they are selling items, right? So ONDC is going to basically be an open network for digital commerce. How, we will talk probably few slides down the line. ONDC in general is not a company funded by someone sitting in US and building an e-commerce platform, etc. ONDC is basically a not-for-profit organization or company built in India as a Section 8 company which will not make money as profit. They have their operational money that they have received as funding from different banks, etc. And that is how they are going to operate. And their whole purpose to build this. So this was brought in by DPIIT in order to build basically promote the commerce, promote the trade in India. So the whole purpose of building ONDC, just like UPI, is to promote digitization, is to promote more trade happening, promote commerce happening, right? So it is built with the intention to increase online sellers, buyers, cut down the monopoly of the major marketplaces, which are 60 to 70% owned by just two companies, again based out of US, right? So we are losing control on what is happening in our online segment. And in order to get this control back and give this control back to the people so that everyone has an equal chance, no matter what size of business they are, right? Again, it keeps getting compared with UPI, but it is not exactly same. But think of it in a way that how UPI digitized your payments for your offline sellers, so you don't no more worry about cash, card, etc. It made everyone equal. Everyone can pay. You don't have to worry about which bank you have, which app you use. Brought in an open network to start paying using no matter what you have, and kind of digitize as many as offline sellers without worrying about that they need to have multiple apps in order to take payments and so on. They just brought the interoperability to switch over and get payments immediately. Similarly, ONDC is helping offline businesses to sell online, create a level playing field without worrying about which platform they are on and what are they selling, right? So in a way, both of them are looking at democratizing in a way how commerce happens and how to digitize it, right? So this was a short understanding, although ONDC is developing a lot. And right now, when we are speaking this today on 9th of August, this is how ONDC has been built from concept to a beta where it is today. So let's understand a little bit more on why it was built. It is mainly looking at solving three things, right? So one is discovery. Let's say you are looking at a particular product. Like I said, you will go to Amazon and you will say, let me find this product and try to see who are selling it. Amazon decides who they want to show you, right? And then you decide, okay, let me go and buy from this one because of price and um, 2 days deal and so forth, right? So that's how you decide and that's how you buy. Or maybe you have a Prime membership, so you are stuck with Amazon, right? Even though, let's say, it is cheaper on Flipkart, you might still buy. So discovery has become a problem, that platforms decide who should be discovered and who should not be discovered, right? Transparency. Again, people are stuck with the pricing that they get. They cannot find more sellers. They cannot find the seller who is actually on the platform, but let's say it's not available on the search field or on the search list page and so on, right? So what is happening is not just that you're not able to find people from other platforms, sometimes you're not able to find sellers on the same platform which are registered, right? So it's a transparency problem because you are being controlled on what you consume and what you buy. ONDC works more like a master aggregator where it is going to bring all the sellers together and control, this bias that is going on. Then there is interoperability, the third point. So what this is, let's say you are working with Amazon, in a way, you have to use everything what Amazon has built as an ecosystem. You can't say that, I want to do this differently. I want to sell differently. I want to buy from someone else and so on. So there is no way to interoperate between things, and that is kind of again a control environment, right? So these are the three main pillars of what they want to solve: discovering, transparency, and interportability of commerce that we see today. A lot of talking, maybe. I think a lot of people might find it hard to understand, so I made a very simple map of how it works. So you are a seller. Let's say you're selling mobile phones, cables, etc. on Amazon, and then there is a buyer. So buyer has downloaded Amazon app, goes to Amazon app, and sees that you are selling it, but maybe there are many sellers and you are not visible. But either way, you are in a closed environment, right? So this is what I was speaking in the beginning. There is something called open and there is something called closed. Today we are in a closed environment, right? So as a buyer, I have to download Amazon, I have to download Flipkart. I might go on the website built by the seller. Can be on any platform, but let's say a website built on the seller, and I buy directly. So let's say I go to Boat Lifestyle, I go to Mama Earth or anything, and buy it directly from their website, or I go to one of these channels and buy it. But as a buyer, I'm basically making multiple profiles, having multiple places of my orders, etc., and I don't have discoverability of what is happening on the other platform. At the same time, I don't know, what if, let's say, I'm buying 4 items and 3 items are cheaper on Flipkart, not on Amazon, but I already added to my cart and thought that I got a great deal. What if on their own website it was cheaper, right? But you don't know, you didn't get the discovery, or you didn't get the transparency of the price difference that is available on the different platforms. So this is what is happening today, and if you actually understand why this is bad, think of you as a seller, right? And you are thinking that let me go to Amazon and build my store there and start selling. The challenge is, what if tomorrow Amazon doesn't show you anymore? What if, let's say, there are some problems with Amazon delivery and you start getting bad ratings for it? Your business basically is going down and down every day, right? Because you are in a closed environment where someone is kind of holding you, in as per their rules and regulations, right? So now you have to think, okay, I have to switch to Flipkart and so on, right? So you are trying to save your business. You're trying to think that where the buyers are buying this particular category items more and so on. So this is today's environment where the buyer is not getting enough places, enough sellers to buy from, and a seller is not getting all the buyers at one place. And this is what government is trying to solve using their policies and using this new committee that they have built, by making it open. So think of what all we are going to face when it is closed. The current e-commerce flow, like I said, high monopoly, less control. We have to create separate account for every marketplace. Products are limited to marketplace it is uploaded on. So if you upload on Flipkart, it is not available on Amazon. Buyer has to be a part of marketplace to order. So if let's say my buyers are on Amazon and I've created on Flipkart, maybe my business is bad, right? I have to know where my buyers are, which is not really possible in today's world. Right, separate order management for every marketplace. So let's say I think tomorrow, okay, I have to also be on Amazon because that is where this category is doing better. And now I have to go and log in at two places and figure out, my orders on Flipkart are different, my orders on Amazon are different, and just deal with this headache. I also have to worry about what is the inventory that I'm giving to both of these players, right? So again, challenges to handle your inventory. There are different TNC, there are different commission model, there are different shipping rates. Some of them will deliver in same day, some of them will deliver in 3 days, and so on, right? And even if, let's say, you say, what, I'm not even a guy who sells on Amazon or Flipkart, I'm selling on my own website, then you would have already realized that how high running Facebook and Google ads are right now. The cost of marketing has gone through the roof. Acquiring customers, your CAC, your cost of leads, etc., has been 3x, 4x of what it used to be before COVID. Right. So it is not just about that. It is problem with marketplaces, but even when you are trying to sell on your website, what about discovery, right? How do you get discovered through these buyers who are mostly on these big platforms? You're not able to reach out to those buyers until unless you spend a lot of money on marketing, and you are not having deep pockets like these guys, right? So you can build your own brand for sure. You can do all of that, but again, how do you reach out to the maximum buyers available at a platform, right? You are not able to do that right now. And this is what ONDC wants to solve, right? So how will e-commerce work post NDC? This kind of graph explains you what it will do. So let's say you are a seller, you go to one of the seller app, let's say Outdo Cart, where you can build your own store. At the same time, you can connect to ONDC. What will ONDC do with that? It will send your data, your products, your catalog to all the marketplaces, seller apps. um, you know Everyone in the ecosystem can access your data. What do they do with that? Let's say someone goes to Amazon, and Amazon basically fetches data from ONDC, including their database or their list. All of that gets combined and shown to a buyer, right? So what does buyer do? Buyer got to discover you. Buyer got the transparency of all the sellers selling this item, no matter which seller app they use or which other buyer app is showing that. But you get to know basically all of this data without the seller even making a profile on Amazon. Seller is available on Amazon now because of ONDC's power, right? And the buyer is able to discover you, understand the pricing difference, and is able to purchase from you directly, making it basically easy for your business to start growing on so many of different platforms which have such a big user base, without you worrying about how am I going to operate, right? So interoperability gets solved using a single seller app which is enabled by ONDC. And if you can understand what this does to you, to your business, you need to understand that, let's say if you had one shop in a market, which is your shop, you're selling, you will have, let's say, 10,000 footfall in a month. But what if every shop in the market has your product, right? The whole market might get 10 lakh footfalls. Imagine your product being showcased to 10 lakh people instead of 10,000 people. I hope you understand what ONDC is going to do, right? This is just a very brief explanation of what it can do in terms of just footfall. Now think, you don't even want to worry about which platform is showing your data, how do they work, and so on and so forth, right? You are automatically part of all these platforms. At the same time, you have all the flexibility that if you think you want to deliver this, you can say, you know what, I want to sell on Amazon, but I want to deliver it, right? I know that this person lives near my store, I will go and deliver it myself. You can do that, right? Before you couldn't, right? Think of that, you have Dunzo, you have ShipRocket, you have VFast, any of these, you can choose one of them and deliver. So it doesn't even give you the eyeballs, it doesn't even give you that footfalls, but it also gives you complete control on how you want to do commerce, right? While you don't have to change what you're doing today. So let's say if you have a store, an offline store where you sit and sell, you don't have to change your model. This is going to be your additional income. This is going to be your another revenue chain that you're building, your revenue stream that you're building. And all of this while you're sitting there, you don't have to do anything, right? And this is why PPIIT is pushing for ONDC, because they want literally, right now what we are seeing in India, the penetration of e-commerce, they want to take that multiple times above than what it is today. And if you can understand what is being built and how it operates with each other, This is exactly what is going to happen, right? So I hope this could give you some understanding that how you become kind of a universal product seller. But again, few points. You just need a single seller registration required. You don't have to worry about which seller has what part of ONDC. There is nothing like that. If a seller app has ONDC integration, that is enough. No matter who it is, you can integrate to them. You can upload your inventory, and it just goes everywhere. Right? You will automatically spread your products on multiple marketplace. So it can be Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, etc. It will just automatically be available without you having to worry about, do I have to do something for that? Right? So better opportunity to clear your inventory. Let's say you have a lot of inventory with you and you are worried about sales are bad, people are not coming to store, etc. This is the best opportunity to start selling online without really worrying about how many places I have to go sign up and what I have to do. Visibility in the market, you get visible, your product gets visible, your pricing gets visible, you get known in the market because ONDC made you visible on different platforms, right? So you also have better control on where you want to sell in terms of let's say you're happy selling offline, you want to switch off, you can do that. And you're not worried about that I have enrolled on one of these e-commerce players and now I basically am tied up with them, I have to sell with them, kind of thing. There is nothing like that. You are still a free bird, you can just sell anywhere you want. Right? The one of the best things that ONDC is going to do is same as UPI. UPI basically operates for free right now. If you're a consumer, if you're using payment gateways, etc., maybe there's a small charge as a business. But think of ONDC coming with the same mindset that they want this to become a mega event, a mega incident that happens with the e-commerce industry, that people just pounce on this, right? So what they will do, they will come with the better rates, right? So you can expect rates very, very, very marginal, might even come at free in the beginning, and that is going to be a game changer if you think of it. So you can start selling at multiple places for a very marginal cost compared to the usual cost that you would be aware of selling on different places, right? At the same time, let's say you can still have your own website where you are building your brand, your customer base, and all of that. So, but what ONDC will do for you in that case is that your cost of acquisition of customers will literally be marginal compared to what you would be spending on Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram, and whatnot, right? This is what ONDC is going to do for you automatically. You don't really have to worry about like how are you going to bring more customers, etc. Your website will still be required because you will have to be building your brand. You can't just expect that the sales that are coming are enough for the future of your business. You have to build a brand, you have to look like trustable partner, you have to look like trustable place to buy, and so on, right? At the same time, you will be using ONDC to distribute, to gain visibility, and have the discovery of your brand on different platforms. Again, if that has been still confusing, I have made one more chart to explain you. This is a little notorious because if you go to search USB cable, the first thing you will see is Amazon Basics, probably. Then you will see ads. Again, people who would have pushed need not be bot, can be anyone else. But if you think of it, in this ecosystem, a seller who's selling exactly the same thing, maybe two lanes away from the same buyer, is not even getting the visibility, right? So let's say if I have a USB cable and I live maybe 1 kilometer away from this buyer, and maybe I sell in the same cost, right? This user is not even discovering me, and that is the problem in today's world, right? Like, how are we supporting these sellers who are taking so much of investment every month through their rents and everything, through inventory, physical inventory with them, they are not even being discovered today. And as a buyer, you have to think that, do you really think that these sellers who can give you in better pricing are not really the right places to buy? Right? They are the people whom you should buy from. If they are giving you a better price, what is wrong in that? But you don't even know about them because these guys are offline, and you are not able to discover them, you're not able to buy from them. And this is what is happening today. So even if you might have a better deal, you might even, let's say someone is running 50% off to offload inventory, you might not even know, because these people are not online, and especially not on the platforms where you have bought subscription for the whole year. Right? So now think of ONDC. Right? So what ONDC is going to do, let's say you are one of these mobile accessory places, and you download, just for the lack of thing, let's say you register on Outdo Cart, and you build your website thinking that I want to build a brand now. At the same time, you think that I'm not a person who's going to run ads, and I don't understand a lot of these things, but I still want to be discoverable, because I'm giving good products, giving good brands, I'm giving better deals, and so on. Right? So why people should not find me, why people should not come and buy from me? So this is what the seller app is going to do. So AutoCart will connect to ONDC will connect to all the different buyer apps, which are like Amazon, Snapdeal, Paytm Mall, etc. And with Amazon Basics and any other things, you will start seeing seller products. Now imagine I'm near this buyer, and I get an order from this person. I will actually feel that this is exactly what was missing in the market. Right? This was exactly why I was not able to achieve as good as what people are selling online and trying to achieve. Right? This opens door for so many sellers. Like, you can imagine, the online market is just 7% of what we do as commerce in India. Just imagine if this 7% goes to 30%. Just imagine how many of sellers will actually get to earn more. Right? How many buyers will get better pricing, discovering the local sellers who are in their neighborhood, and giving them better service and better products. Right? So this is what is going to happen. Right? Again, if till now whatever I've spoken is still hard for you to understand, considering we might have mixed audience, I have made this as well. So how it is similar to UPI. Right? So think that you went to a store near demonetization, you saw Paytm, right? And you were buying through Paytm. So what was happening? The person, if they didn't had Paytm, you were telling them like, but yeah, you need to have Paytm, then only I can come to your store, because I have to pay through Paytm. So you were forcing a seller to be acquired by Paytm in order to start using it. Gradually we saw UPI coming in. Then you saw, okay, now there is Paytm, and there is Phone Pay, and there is Google Pay, etc. So you took out your phone, opened Google Pay, but pointed at Paytm, and nothing happened. Right? Because that doesn't work. You need to point it to Google Pay and then pay on the Google Pay. Right? So this is what was happening before the interoperability started. So what happened later is that no matter what you use as an app, or as a bank behind that app, you can pay on another UPI app, another UPI QR code, and the buyer or seller might be on any different bank, and it will still work. Right? So this is exactly what uh, um in a way ONDC is trying to achieve. No matter what you are using for selling, and no matter what you're using for buying, ONDC will make both of you connect and complete the commerce. Right? So what are the myths about ONDC? So a lot of people would have understood by now that, okay, maybe I have to download some app and do this. Right? Maybe I will be able to purchase through an app or something, but that's not the case. Right? So ONDC is not going to become a place where you go and upload your products or anything. ONDC is just an open network built on protocols where a buyer and seller side apps are connected. So think of like um, you have, let's say, Amazon, you have Outdo Cart, and how do they speak to each other is what ONDC is creating, right? So ONDC is not something which has a UI, which has a platform, which has a login where you go and purchase, etc. But it's purely a network which is going to connect the two parties and transfer the data among them, right? So it is not a place where you go to sell online. Similarly, it is not a place where you go to buy online, right? And it is definitely not what some people think, that it is a government owned marketplace where everyone can upload and tomorrow it will become bigger than Amazon or Flipkart or something. No, that's not the case. Like I said in the first point, ONDC is just a connector. ONDC is going to connect between two apps where people are selling and buying, and the commerce happens in between using ONDC connection, right? So you can be on any app, and you will be discovered using ONDC network, right? So you don't have to worry basically that how does this connection work and etc. All you have to see is your seller app where you're registering, you are building your catalog, etc. And on the same app, you will get response whenever you get an order. You don't have to go to, let's say, Amazon or Paytm or anything and log in and say, did I get an order there? You don't have to do that, right? So I hope that is very clear. Some of the use cases that it will fulfill, or let's say if you are businesses, you're running a business and you're thinking how it will help me, just few use cases to give you an idea. Let's say you're a kirana store, and you realize that one of the big apps which is owned by Tata is how everyone is buying grocery, right? And you think that I have everything what they are selling, and maybe I can offer similar rates or best rates than that, but I don't know how to run tech, right? I don't know how to build, and I don't want to spend lakhs of rupee to build my own app and etc. and so on, right? But let's say within 3 kilometers I can give a better service. I'm very assured of that. All you have to do is go to one of the seller apps, like there is Outdo Cart again, which you can use. There are others also. You can discover what works for you, and you can upload your catalog. You can add your products, and it will be available on the ONDC network. So now what happens? Let's say one of these marketplaces start showing your grocery items, right? In your pin code, in your area, etc. And let's say if your audience who lives there finds that you are giving them same products, 1 hour delivery, or 10 minutes delivery if you can, and and giving good rates, get good service, everything, you know just think what it will do to your business, right? So that is a use case. Let's say you are into apparels, right? You are selling good clothes, you're finding the best designs, hand picking them, etc. And you feel that people are mostly going home and looking in apps and buying there. No one actually is taking interest that you have a new collection launched, etc. If you are on ONDC network, your collection will compete with the new collection of the biggest brands in India, right? And this is what ONDC will enable you to do. You are a trader, you have got a lot of inventory, and you realize that inventory is not getting over faster. You can be on ONDC network. It will help you push your inventory out by getting you the right buyers. You make sure you are giving them the best service, make lifetime customers, and yeah, you will be able to not get rid, but let's say you will be able to fulfill what you wanted to do with your inventory. And the last point is my favorite, because I know personally a lot of homepreneurs through Outdo Cart. We have 20,000 plus stores which are live on Outdo Cart, and we talk to homepreneurs every day. We have homepreneurs who are like mothers having a small child, had to leave their job, and they started selling something online. on marketplaces, etc. I mean, not even marketplace, but let's say social media. They started doing their own marketing in free time, etc. And today, um, in Outdo Cart, I can tell you because I know how they are doing as a business. We have homepreneurs doing 5 lakh rupees a month by selling bed sheets and food items and all that. So we are very proud to see that. And they always have this challenge that how do I market, right? Because they don't understand it's too complicated to do marketing sometimes, especially when you see how Google ad look like. You will be very overwhelmed with what should I do, right? But ONDC is going to take care of that because it's going to make your products be easily discoverable on different platforms, and just making it easier for you to reach bigger audience from your home, right? And build your business from there, right? So these are some of the use cases, but these are not enough. These are not all. um, ONDC is something which is still growing, and possibilities are endless, right? Because it's growing, it has challenges, right? So let's talk about some challenges. Um, See, the biggest problem any marketplace has is I ordered phone, I got a brick, right? So how do you solve that in ONDC, right? So ONDC is expecting the first intervention to happen through the seller app. So let's say I bought it from Paytm Mall, right? And as a buyer, I have a problem. So I will first go to Paytm Mall and say that you send me something wrong, which I didn't order, right? Or my order didn't get delivered yet, etc. Right? So first is going to be the seller app, which is going to take the onus on them to resolve a dispute. ONDC is also creating a third party online dispute resolution platform, which is going to take care of if seller app is not able to take care, then they are going to take care of it. Think of it like Empire and Third Empire. You are not happy with Empire, you say that I I would like to take another call, right? So uh, and another thing is, let's say, how do you build trust, right? I will suddenly start seeing a lot of sellers in my list while I'm purchasing. How do I know who is right, who's wrong, right? When I'm purchasing from Amazon, I know that this person has 5 star rating, this product has 5 star rating or 4.5 star rating, and this has 2.5 rating, and I don't want to buy 2.5, etc. Right? So there is some mechanism to know what you can trust and what you cannot trust. So how will ONDC work? Right? So these things are still getting ironed out. There will be review system, etc. Probably, um, but what we being in the industry, what do we suggest our customers is that you should have your website, right? You should build a brand where people can come read about you, read when you started, who is working in the company, who has founded. Even if you are a homepreneur, you can write about yourself, right? There is nothing wrong in that. And what are your contact details? What where is what is the address to reach out to you, and so on and so forth, right? So, and you have the same products on your website, and you can have review rating on your website for that, right? So idea is that there will be um, some trust issues at first, similar to UPI. Should I pay? If it doesn't go, what happens, etc. There will be all of these things in the beginning, but our suggestions has been that the better you build your online presence, the better your brand or your company is building trust. So we highly recommend people to go online and build their website while they are on ONDC. And you don't really have to break your bank to do that. Like, we start at 499. So even if you start with us, 499 will be able to do both, right? So that's some of the challenges. What's the current status of ONDC? Like I said, it has just started. It is still in beta. So it started with 5 cities. They've added few more cities to it, but the progress is going like crazy. The number of people who are joining in buyer and seller side, in terms of apps, marketplaces, etc., is going up every day. Snapdeal recently told that they are integrating with ONDC and claiming that it will go to 2,500 cities in few months. And you can understand Snapdeal is probably 90% tier 2, tier 3, 10% tier 1. So just imagine the impact it's going to create in the smaller towns where maybe the bigger guys are not paying much attention, right? So uh, discoverability, accessibility, that is going to happen throughout India is going to go through the roof. Right, ONDC has a very active tech community. So recently they had a hackathon with logistics. They had hackathon with agriculture, industries, and so on. And they are trying to disrupt everything. Right, they are trying to see each and every type of business can leverage ONDC and build the network bigger and bigger. Right, and fun fact is that you will be able to do a lot of things like you'll be able to get caps in future probably, right? So you don't have to worry saying Ola is 10 rupees lesser than Uber, should I go there, but I will get cancellation, should I be on Uber, and so forth, right? So you will get cabs, you will be able to order food, you don't have to worry what is the price on Zomato, what is the delivery charge on Swiggy, and so forth. You can look at different payment solutions, communication solutions, and it is just increasing every day. They are still finding what they can integrate to make it bigger, to make it more connected, and to give a decentralized network of things which seller and buyer can do, right? And because all of this is related to businesses, um, there are chances of other open networks also coming into picture, like Oken. Oken is basically built to build lending in open space. So, for example, let's say you feel that you need a loan. Let's say you're buying anything. You're buying a bike, let's say through ONDC. There is a possibility in future that you will have loan options coming from the smallest to the biggest providers, fintech companies, banks, etc. Because now all your data, understanding everything is at one place, right? And they don't need days and months to calculate if you are worthy or not. They can do that immediately, right? So it's going to help a lot of buyers for sure, but it's also going to help a lot of sellers, because now it is said that let's say whatever capital is required for businesses in India, we are not even probably fulfilling 10% of it because of the unstructured way things are working. But with Oken, that will be solved as well. So there is a possibility everything gets working one day together. How can you be part of ONDC? If you are a seller, join any one of the seller apps. You what I'll understand is, because there are so many seller apps, don't get discouraged saying that price is too high, etc. Because there are so many, you have choice, right? And ONDC being open network, it's going to work same way for most of them, right? So try to see different seller apps, try to understand their pricing model, try to understand if they have a monthly fixed cost, yearly fixed cost, quarterly, whatever, if there is a fixed cost to use that solution. And if they are going to charge you a particular percentage or rate on every sales that happen, or every order that you get from them, right? So yeah, try to understand all of that, see what works for you, what is good for you for long term, etc. If they give you a website, if you're getting basically two things in one, etc. Try to understand all of that. The reason why I keep emphasizing on e-commerce website also is because we feel that if you are building a trust factor, it is going to take you a long way, right? It is going to make you look like this is a seller which is trustworthy and I can order it no matter where it is from. And in case, let's say they feel that, I don't want to order from a particular seller app, you still have your own website where they can buy from, right? Where you're governed by your terms and conditions, you're governed by a payment gateway which has to resolve the dispute and so on. So you are actually building trust. Still debatable. You can. It is not a must, but it's good to have if you think that you want to go forward with that. And yeah, that is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you want to write to me or write to my team, you can write to support@outdocart.com, right? And if you want to sign up, you can go to outdocart.com/all small ONDC, right? So that was my time, and yeah, I will be happy to answer any questions.
We have a lot of questions actually, Nirmal.
Oh God,
I think a lot of people want to understand this better, right? So,
yeah,
uh, please, maybe you can tell me if this makes sense or not, because as you know,
yeah,
even I am learning what
yeah,
ONDC
yeah.
is all about. So, could you
Yeah.
please share a link with ONDC specs? Is it a relevant question? Specifications?
So there are no specifications as such, but if you are a seller, if you are a business, basically, look for a seller app, because seller app is your gateway to get into one of these. So, for example, let's say it's like you are saying what is the specs for UPI, right? So there is no specs for UPI. What you do is you go to Paytm and try to understand how to use UPI. You go to etc. Right? You basically try to understand how do you become part of UPI using these seller apps. So if you have any questions on how do I start selling on ONDC, I think, like I said, one of the ways is come to Outdo Cart. We are enabled with ONDC, so we can help you understand that, how you can do all of this. So there is no specs as such, but we can help you go in the right direction. Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, there is another question. Is there an API for creating vendors? Yeah. Is there any
Um,
API for creating vendors?
Yeah, so I think this would be better understood if they are part of ONDC Discord and Slack. So ONDC is very active community when it comes to tech, very active. I mean, there are, I think, more than 100 organizations which are part of it. And you just need to be part of one of these Slack or Discord groups. And I have seen members writing midnight, right? So you'll get all the information there. You will get all the support there. You are actually also given a POC from ONDC. It is not that you are on your own. You are given a POC, and you have to actually present to ONDC what are you working on, and they will approve you. They will shift you from staging to live production, etc. So yeah, they understood what happened with UPI. So they are very, very sure on how do they want to make sure that this is done in the right way. So yeah, just be part of that, and you will get all your answers.
Wonderful to hear. Also, is ONDC available in India or other countries as well currently?
Right now, it is just for India. Actually, it is not even fully launched in India yet. But I just read article probably yesterday or today, that it is built with global ambitions. So like UPI, we are hearing going outside India. You might see ONDC going outside India. So yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed there.
Oh, wonderful. Somebody had questions about Outdo Cart. What are the charges inclined for Outdo Cart?
Okay, so we started 499 a month, probably the easiest and affordable way that you can be part of e-commerce. At the same time, we are doing this for 6 years. So see what is happening recently is a lot of people started in pandemic, and they have half-baked product, and things are not going great, and that kind of makes us little worry about what's happening, because people who are going to sell online first time and people who are buying online from these sellers, they are actually trusting each other and doing this commerce, right? And we want to make sure that this trust doesn't go down in India. It only increases from there. So we are very proactive. The funny thing is, right before I started this, when we were on backstage, I actually got a message from someone who found me from somewhere. I don't know how he came to know that he should message me, and not to, let's say, someone in support or anything. And he just said, "Hi, sir. I just wanted to tell you that you're doing a great job." And this was not about ONDC, right? This was about like they are building their store on it, right? So you go to our Google reviews, you will not see 4.5, right? You will only see 5, right? So we make sure that if you are starting a journey with us, we will make your journey easy. And if you don't understand anything, you need support on anything, we will do anything required to make sure that you are on the right path for that.
Thank you, Nirmal. Wonderful to know. For everybody watching us today, Nirmal and Outdo Cart, Nirmal's venture Outdo Cart is a part of PayU partner platform. They have been with us for the longest time, and yes, we are absolutely thrilled to be a part of your journey, Nirmal. And thank you so much for everything that you do out there. This is a very relevant question, right? A lot of people also
Yeah.
bumped it up. The buyer interface is still with Amazon or Flipkart. So when they can control which seller they want to show on top, how is this actually solving the problem? Very relevant. I would like
Hmm.
your thoughts on this.
Yeah. So I just used Amazon and Flipkart as a reference, but think of it like anyone who is into seller. Let's say Paytm, Snapdeal, lot of third party, and trust me, what we are talking today about ONDC will be very different in a year. The reason being that we have not even seen the innovations that are going to come, right? What we are talking about is how do we change today? We don't even know what innovation is going to come tomorrow. So there are so many new applications that are going to come, which will work in a different way, which will operate in a totally different way of commerce that should happen. For example, let's say someone might be building a local commerce, right? Where if you are sitting at your home and you want to buy something, within 3 kilometers, who is selling this at what price and what would be the delivery cost, and or if you want to go and pick it up at the store, right? So we are not even looking at what happens to Amazon and Flipkart, to be honest. We are looking at what are the new things that are going to innovate and try to change this whole thing. And the best part about all of this is that you don't have to change. You just need to find a seller app and be on ONDC. Someone who as a venture thinks that they want to build a better buying user experience will do everything for you, right? So they will build the local app, they will build the international app, they will build the tier 1 app, they will build the tier 2, tier 3 app, they will do everything. ONDC is automatically connected to them, and you will not even know how you got discovered, and you know you just started getting the business. But when it comes to, let's say, answering directly what will happen to Amazon and Flipkart, etc., what I've read and what I've understood is that there is going to be a committee for everyone who will be connected to ONDC, which will review if you are being biased or not. So I think there will be chances that rules will change. Similarly, how UPI it happened, everyone wanted to play their own game, and UPI said, no, you have to play together. And everyone started playing together. And UPI said, you know what, but you can't do more than 30% of signups of the overall market, right? So because it is kind of looked at from the top, from the government, there will be rules and regulations which will be introduced. But I don't think they also want to scare someone right now. They want to play nice, they want to say this is innovation, this is good, please integrate. And I think all of that will come where it will support Indian entrepreneurs more than a big player.
Absolutely. So, how soon is it going to be live? You just said that it is in progress. Have they released it? What is the
Yeah, so they are live, but it's not really full-fledged. Like they were only available in few cities. At the same time, if you actually look at it, so let's say when we are talking to ONDC, ONDC's purpose is actually to see how we are going to make ONDC big, right? Because at the end, the ecosystem has to support them. They themselves cannot become big without the ecosystem, right? So let's say if we have 20,000 stores, they want us to have these 20,000 sellers on ONDC, which are in different cities, different states, etc., and try to build this online ecosystem which is active on ONDC. So what we see is not basically there is not a date that when it will be full fledged, but it will happen eventually. right? It has already started, and it will keep happening. Like the Dunzo got integrated to them recently, right? Grab, which is again Reliance, got integrated recently. So we are only seeing increasing number of people integrating this, and which is why I feel that you don't have to wait. If you are waiting, you might miss the train. You have to get on this as soon as possible before you think that everyone else has also already done their job and you got left out. So don't wait for when ONDC is ready, because they are pretty much there. Uh, but they are doing phase wise, and you should not wait for everything to be good and nice to think that now I should start the journey. Yeah,
Makes sense. This is also a very nice question, right? Can
yeah.
ONDC boost entrepreneurship in Tier 2 cities? Any use cases that you would hypothesize on, if something that you know?
Yeah, yeah. See, like I told one of the points, we see a lot of homepreneurs coming online, right? No, now homepreneurs which we talk to are mostly in tier one cities. Some of them in tier two, but why it is tier one? Because they think that I am at a place where what I am selling there are buyers. When it comes to tier two, tier three, they are not looking at, let's say, design perspective of products and so on, because they think that the audience that I see around might not be interested, right? So what ONDC is going to do is it's going to open the market and say that you don't have to worry what happens in your town. You can be available anywhere. At the same time, if you're building your e-commerce website, you can anyway be global. You can anyway sell anywhere. With that, that is new entrepreneurs who want to get in. With that, entrepreneurs which are already there, the stores which are there, let's say I got a lot of cold press oils in Bangalore, but when I went back to my hometown, I saw that there are bigger companies coming there who are doing the same thing, but maybe they don't know how to market themselves, right? So there are so many entrepreneurs, so many industries, manufacturer hubs, etc., which are in smaller towns, which will get exposure and are tomorrow's D2C brands because of ONDC. So I actually feel that ONDC is going to make them into bigger deal compared to what they are today, only because of the discoverability and transparency between the other brands that are able to push themselves because of whatever reasons, right? So definitely it's going to be a game changer for no matter where you are in India.
Absolutely. Also, okay, this I think the probably the audience believes that we are from something to do with ONDC. So, how are you guys planning to reach out to the retailer base in Tier 3, 4, and 5 cities? Since online sales is just 7%, what are the projected numbers for the next 5 to 10 years? If it's not relevant, let's not even go there, because I think they believe that we are somebody from ONDC.
Yeah, so we are not from ONDC, but I think this was my first answer, that there will be a lot of seller apps. There will be a lot of buyer apps.
Correct.
So buyer means where a consumer logs in or makes an account and looks at what they want to purchase. So there will be a lot of buyer apps. Some are already there, marketplaces, etc., are already there, and some more will keep coming. There are actually investment firms which are telling their portfolio, please reorganize yourself, realign yourself for ONDC, which is a very big deal. Like, people with deep pockets coming in this sector is only going to flourish it and only going to innovate it further. So Misho, for example, is only focusing on tier two, tier three, and others, right? So imagine Misho being part of ONDC. You don't have to worry, like, who is going to buy. You have to worry how I'm going to supply, right? If it really starts working out, right?
Yes.
I even see someone asking if it is 400 rupees or USD. So it's rupees. We are made in India, made for India. We are not USD where it's 80 rupees and now you have to pay more for Shopify. We are not doing all of that, right? So we are 499 rupees. So another, I think you asked, like, it is
Payment methods.
7%, and
That's yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Please let's take that one.
yeah. So right now it is 7%. I think somewhere I read that they want to increase it to 25%. They want 900 million users to come online. They want 1.2 lakh sellers to come online. Uh, so yeah, I actually feel maybe more than that might be even possible. because if people were very new to this, one, pandemic, they understood why going online is good. Second, understanding that um, you know um, why government built open networks like UPI really helps. So I think it has all the things in place to make you understand how this is actually going to channelize and build their business for them. So 25% I think is what I read, but I feel it might actually reach there or go beyond.
Sure.
So hoping
So
for
one
best.
last question, Nirmal. What about the payment methods that are in ONDC, right? And what happens if the particular seller is not does not have an account with that particular payment method or payment service provider?
Yeah. Yeah. So what the way it works is seller app takes care of payment, um, and they basically take a cut from it at the end because that's the way they operate, right? So ONDC is not going to be free, as in no one going to charge anything. That's not the case. That let's be very clear with that. The way it's going to work is ONDC might be free with their own cost. They might not charge you anything to be available everywhere. They might not, they might, right? But as a seller app, let's say Outdo Cart as a seller app, might decide we don't want to charge anything because you are, let's say, paying us 499 rupees a month. We are going to make you available on ONDC plus give you your own website. Just giving a use case. But let's say you were shown on Meesho and Meesho says that I'm going to charge 2%. So they are going to basically deduct money from a buyer who's buying that 100 rupees item, take that 2 rupees with them and give you back 98 rupees. So this is kind of how it's going to work. Maybe let's say if it is COD, things might change. But again, all these things are still have to be ironed out. To be very honest, they were only available in 5 cities. Handful people have tried this, right? So they have a very big task on their hand. They are well funded. They are going to be there for many years, overlooking this. I have spoken to a lot of people from their team personally, and trust me, they are on coffee all the time. They are working so hard, right? So yeah, I have very strong belief on that they will solve everything. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nirmal. I think it really helps people, not just sellers, everybody else who's watching us today, understand what the new stuff around ONDC is. I think a lot of us didn't even know what exactly it meant from a buyer perspective or from a seller perspective. I think this was wonderful to have discussed this. As I'm so glad I could bring you in for this topic as first for homegrown, right? It truly stands for homegrown because we are helping sellers understand what more can they do with what's available. I'm sure ONDC will help a lot of sellers out there. It'll just be there. Obviously, I just wanted to understand one more thing as
Yeah.
well. Isn't that so it's a government aided unit, right? Like it's a government aided venture or it's a government venture?
Um, it's a non-profit company, not-for-profit company or venture. Again, like it has been formed by a government agency, but it will be running independently. In terms of the funding they are taking,
Mm,
having the stake, literally, like some banks have bought stake in that. So I wouldn't call it really government body because
mm.
people are buying stakes in that. But yeah, like I said, they are playing nice. They will definitely think it from a government perspective.
Absolutely.
What is going to help the trade in India and e-commerce in India?
Makes sense.
So we will see the switch happen when it has grown to a limit like UPI, where UPI can say what is right and what is wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's the thing, probably.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Nirmal. Really helpful, I think, for everybody who's following us. Somebody did have something nice to say about Vijay from your tech team. So I think you should
No,
just follow, share this forward. So thank you, whoever has let us know. So thank you for.
this is what I was saying, that so this is what we make sure that every seller, like it's interesting to see someone actually writing here. And yeah, really thankful to people because we are bootstrapped. Like
Yeah,
we don't really go out and do PR and whatnot, right? But for ecosystem, we are ready to burn the night lamp, just to
absolutely.
make sure that no one thinks that it was a mistake to start an online store. That has been our main aim in this. So yeah, I'll share your regards to Vijay for sure. Yeah,
That's wonderful. Thank you so much again, Nirmal. Thank you to our audience. I think we had a wonderful session. Thank you so much for the questions. Thank you for being present with us through and through. We wish to invite you for our next session also, which is happening on Friday. We'll do a lot of these sessions with our own
okay,
founders, right? Again, while I say our own founders, it means founders from India
yeah,
because we are trying to celebrate homegrown series. Some of them are founders who are associated with PayU as well, like we have Nirmal here, but there are some who are just coming because they want to share their knowledge with you. They know that that will help you take your startup one step forward. So again, thank you so much, Nirmal. Thank you to our audience. Good evening and have a very nice rest of the evening. Thank you and see you soon.
thank you everyone. Have a great day, and yeah, wish you guys outdo where you are now. Thank you.